Greeting to all of you. My name is Liu Xuanfei and I am the moderator for today. And let me introduce the panelists. They are Sinchuta, Vanessa Loyi, and Megan Ong Singro. The topic of our forum is bullying among students in school. First and foremost, what is bullying? Unfortunately, there is no legal definitions of bullying, but there is a general agreement that bullying is behavior that is designed to hurt someone else or make them do something that they do not want to do. This behavior can be either verbal, for example, through name calling, spreading lies about someone, or excluding them from the group, or physical, for example, kicking and punching someone. Verbal or emotional bullying is probably much more common, and it's also harder to spot because bullies will often say that it was only a joke. Emotional bullying also leaves no obvious marks or bruising, but in fact, the damage can be much more serious and longer lasting. After introducing the topic of the day, we shall begin the forum. Our very first questions to be discussed is, why does bullying occur?
I would like to answer these questions. So this question is at the top of the list when it comes to understanding bullying behavior. Students are bullied for lots of reasons. Sometimes they are bullied because they are different or because they are clever or popular. It can be caused by differences in race, sexuality, religions, disabilities and abilities, weight, height, or anything that creates a differences between one child and another. At other times, they are simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. Students who bully sometimes have problems and are unhappy. They may be trying to make up for a lack of attention, power, or love in their own life. By bullying, they try to get this in their own life. These students need to feel powerful and seem to enjoy hurting others. They often do not understand the feelings of the persons they bully. Those who persistently bully often do so in order to dominate others and improve their own social status. Bullying often comes from a belief that it is okay to act that way. Sometimes, they don't even know that what they are doing is bullying behavior, or they don't understand how much hurt and anxiety they cause.
While bullying can be happen to any students, it is known that some are more likely than others to be bullied. Vulnerable groups include students with disabilities, special educational needs, or LGBTI students, and students of a culture, race, or religion that differs from the main culture. Bullying sometimes involves students commenting on and judging other students' personal attributes and how they are different. These negative comments can relate to appearance and weight, ability or disability, gender, sex, and sexuality, culture, race, and religion or socio-economic status. This type of bullying is linked to the prejudice that students learn from the family, group, and their wider social community about the value of diversity in the community. There are social norms within groups of students and also the whole school. The school's norms are modeled by the school staff and other adults in the broader community, including parents. Students who stand out as different from the norms within their peer groups are most likely to be bullied. Students can use bullying as a way to enforce group about which students are greater social standing come from society's values about powers and status. This process happens as children and young people absorb and copy the norms, values and prejudices of their school and their wider community.
Besides that, Can we know more about why people bully?
Sure, there's no one reason why people bully, but many people who engage in this conduct feel powerless, suffer from insecurity, need to control others, or enjoy the rewards they get from bullying. For example, bullying a classmate might make a kid feel more popular, or bullying a worker might stop other employees from questioning management decisions. These outcomes show bullies that this conduct pays off. Bullying is often a learned behavior. Young bullies might live in households where adults bully one another to get their way deal with conflict. They might not know how else to get their needs met or how to manage disagreements. Some bullies have bad temper tantrums to get their way since they were small children and were never told no. Others were once bullied themselves and repeated the behavior to feel powerful.
There's a lot of information from our three panelists of why bullying occurs. Bullying creates a culture of fear and has a negative impact on everyone involved. Being bullied can seriously affect a person's physical, emotional, academic, and social well-being. Many sufferers of bullying's lack of confidence, feel bad about themselves, and have few friends and spend a lot of time alone. Bullying is a very stressful ordeal, one that many people find it hard to speak about. Those being bullied continually ask why me. They may feel ashamed and embarrassed that they are not standing up to the bully and deal with what is happening to them. Bullying can have devastating effects on a person which can last into adulthood. At its worst, bullying has driven children and young people to self-harm and even suicide. After knowing about the causes, shall we discuss the effect of bullying?
I would like to talk about the effects of bullying on the bullied. Those who are bullied may feel disconnected from school and do not want to attend school. They will also have lower academic outcomes, including lower attendance. They lack of quality friendship at school and display high levels of emotions that indicate vulnerability and low levels of resilience. They will avoid conflict and be socially withdrawn and also have low self-esteem. They will also become depressed, anxious, and lonely. They will feel worried or suspicious of others. In extreme cases, they will have a higher risk of self-harm or even suicide.
I would like to continue the effects of bullying on bullies. People who frequently bully others may display high levels of aggressive behavior which can impact on their future, struggle to develop and maintain effective relationships, have difficulty integrating into the workplace, have low self-esteem, and also have difficulty understanding boundaries and limits.
So last but not least, I would like to continue to talk about the effects of bullying on bystanders. Those who witness bullying may be reluctant to attend school, be fearful, scared, and guilty for not doing anything, experience pressure to participate in the bullying, become anxious and worried.
I see. People usually focus on the effects of bullying on the victims, but the truth is, bullying affects three main groups, which are students who are bullied, students who bully, and even bystanders who see it happens. However, we must be able to identify bullying in order to intervene. So my next question is how to identify bullying.
In order to identify bullying, we need to understand what is and what is not bullying. Bullying is systematically and chronically inflicting physical hurt or psychological distress on another. Bullying can be physical, verbal, or social. Bullying is not just child's play, but a frightening experience many students face every day. It can be as direct as teasing, hitting, threatening, destruction of property, or forcing someone to do something against their will, or as indirect as in rumors, exclusion, or manipulation. Bullying involves a real or perceived power imbalance between the one who bullies and their target. It is important not to misuse the term bullying for every behavior problem.
Verbal or emotional bullying is probably much more common, and it is also harder to spot because bullies will often say that it was only a joke. Emotional bullyings also leave no obvious mark or bruisings. But in fact, the damage can be much more serious and longer lasting. The issue of banter or bullying has entered mainstream discussion recently. Often, the people doing the deeds don't realize what they are doing is hurtful. Joking around and banter can often be construed as harmless fun. The golden rule is if they are not comfortable, then it is not banter, it is bullying. One way to look at it is to consider how you would feel if the situation was reversed in some way, or if it is happening to your brother or sister.
I think there is a really good way to identify bullying and distinguish them from normal conflicts between students. Once bullying is identified, we can take the necessary actions to stop bullying and prevent it from occurring in the future. So, shall we discuss on how to prevent bullying?
Sure. Preventing and stopping bullying involves a commitment to creating a safe environment where children can thrive socially and academically without being afraid. It is recommended that teachers, parents, and students take the following actions to address bullying. Let us first talk about what can parents do to prevent bullying. One of the first most important things you can do as a parent is ensure that your child understands what bullying is. More than a definition, this also includes what bullying can look and feel like. Start by having a conversation with your child about what constitutes healthy friendship and what does not. Although research suggests that parents are often the last to know when their child is being bullied or has bullied someone else, you can break that trend by talking with your kids every day about their social lives. To encourage your child to chat, ask open-ended questions like, for example, who did you have lunch with today? What did you do during recess time? Or what happened on the bus ride or walk home from school?
I am going to talk about what schools or teachers can do to prevent it. Educators can teach kindness and empathy. When students are able to approach ideas and problems from multiple perspectives, they are less likely to bully others. One way to do this is to have kids together and talk about their differences. Allow them to practice conflict resolution, work through problems, and build their understanding of those around them. Also, fostering a sense of community in the classroom can lower bullying incidents and facilitate healing for targeted students. In the classroom, start by creating a safe place for students to express themselves and feel heard. Cultivating students' abilities to to advocate on behalf of themselves as well as others. Outside of the classroom, facilitate opportunities for positive reinforcement by helping students get involved in after-school activities that align with their hobbies and interests. Moreover, some small behavior can be often signal beginning patterns of bullying, often missed by teachers who already have so much on their plates. These indicators, called gateway behaviors, can be difficult to detect, but if teachers can recognize them early on, there's a chance that they could prevent bullying behavior from developing down the road. As the teacher, they should take notice of some of the key behaviors like eye rolling, laughing cruelly, or encouraging others to laugh, name calling, ignoring or excluding, causing physical harm, or even spying. While these behaviors may not be classified as bullying, putting interventions in place now could mitigate the likelihood of them growing into something more problematic.
Nevertheless, students are often in best position to both prevent and stop bullying incidents, including cyberbullying and other types of mistreatment. Why? Because students see, hear, and know things adults that don't. They can intervene in ways that adults can't. They are aware of incidents often before adults are informed. The tremendous power students have in setting social norms of kindness and connectivity contributes greatly to having a bully-free and safer school with a positive climate. First, students should report bullying. It is important for students to report any bullying to a parent or an adult they trust. Secondly, students should avoid being alone. Whenever possible, avoid situations where there are no other students or teacher. Try to go to the bathroom with a friend or eat lunch in a group. When riding the bus, sit near the front. If you know a student who likely to bully others in an area where you normally walk to lunch or class, try to use the alternative hallway routes. Thirdly, students should appear confident. Bullies like to look for students that display insecurity, fear, and low self-esteem. How victim responds? They hold their head, whether they stand tall or are slumped. Even the tone of their voice can signal that a student might make an easy target. They also make eye contact as bullies are more likely to back off if a potential target looks at them right in their eyes. Fourthly, self-esteem is a core component of bullying prevention. Kids with healthy self-esteem are more confident and capable. Self-esteem also can help prevent bullying.
I would like to add on to what other panelists have said. Bullying prevention techniques must place emphasis on doing more than just putting an end to the immediate bullying problems. It needs to target the underlying causes of the behavior. Make sure the stand against bullying continues even after dealing with the immediate problem. You have to remain vigilant, or it will keep returning. Offer support to former bullies through regular meetings and offer psychological helps if necessary. Place posters on the walls and make it a requirement for all students and staff members to attend anti-bullying courses. Every bully has different characteristics. As a result, there is no clear scheme or strategy that can stop the problem from ever occurring. By being able to spot, deal with, and offer long-term bullying support, you have targeted bullying at all junctures. Remain vigilant and you will minimize the chance of the problem ever returning to your place of business or educational institutions.
Preventing bullying can really decrease bullying and victimizations. However, what if we fail to prevent bullying? What should students do when being bullied?
Being bullied is painful, but it is important to remember that you are not alone. Bullies are not bad people, but they are doing bad things. Sometimes students become bullies because they are bullied at home by their parents and are determined not to be bullied at school. So they bully others instead. Keep in mind that no one deserves to be bullied will help you understand that the bullying does not have to do with you, but with the bully. So, do not blame yourself. It is common for students to feel that they have somehow causes the bullying. Always tell an adult you trust. Tell your parents, trusted teachers, school counselor, or other trusted adult about what is happening. Share all of the details and let them know how this made you feel. Never fight back, but let the bully know you are not an easy target. Stay calm and tell the bully with confidence and determinations to stop it and to leave me alone. Then walk off with confidence. If you feel safe enough with the bully, confront the bully by telling him or her how you feel, why you feel the way you do, and what you want the bully to do. For example, I feel angry when you call me names because I have a real name. I want you to start calling me by my real name. If you don't feel safe with the bully, just simply do not respond directly to the bully's teasing. Sometimes we just feel too scared to respond. Not responding is actually another good strategy that we can use when we are being bullied. To the best of your ability, just walk away. This is also an important tips to remember when dealing with bullying online. Keep harmful messages from spreading by not responding, adding comments, or sending them on to friends. Again, it is important to let an adult know about this. When you are bullied online, print out a copy of the text or picture and show it to a grown-up.
That is a very informative speech for students. Thanks, panelist 1. Can I have the other panelists to tell us what parents should do when their children are being bullied?
I think I can answer that. Often parents will get angry or frustrated, but children don't need you to overreact. They need you to listen, reassure, and support them. They need to see you as stable and strong and able to help them in any situation. First, let your child talk about it. Listen in a non judgmental way about your child and about the teaser. Don't make the assumption that your kid has done something to bring on the teasing. Teasing isn't always logical, and for your kid, it doesn't matter. It just matters that it is happening. Therefore, don't say, "Why did you do that made them tease you?" That's not going to help. Also, try to find out more about the kid who's doing the teasing. But don't say, "Oh my god, what a rotten kid," because you're just getting a part of the story. Your child doesn't need you to go ballistic or take on the problem as your own. Your child needs to know that he's being hurt and that his feelings matter. Once you've got the whole story out, depending upon what's happened, you can take your next step. Secondly, call the teacher and set up an appointment. Teachers are like everyone else. If you mention something in passing, it won't carry as much weight. If you make an appointment, they will listen. A caution to parents. Often when your kids is getting bullied, their teachers don't know about it. Kids are smart enough not to do it in front of the teacher. Please bear in mind that when you go to a teacher, you shouldn't be talking furiously or loudly. It may not be that the teacher is doing a bad job. It might mean it's happening out of earshot. The impact on your child is what teachers need to know because it may not be obvious to them. You're basically asking them to keep an eye on your child and keep an eye out of trouble. Later, you can follow up with email and ask the teacher for an update. However, if the threat of violence comes, you're in police territory. Part of it is getting a sense from teachers about what's really going on in that school. As a parent, it is much more complicated. If you can't figure out who is making the threat and the police can't figure it out, you really have to decide whether the child is safe in the school and whether you want to keep her or he there.
Thanks, panelist 3. I believe parents, after listening to you, will know what to do if they encounter the problem. Can I ask panelist 2 to tell us your opinion about what to do when you see someone being bullied?
Sure, I'm glad to share my opinion. Be an upstander, not a bystander. Reach out and befriend those students who are often isolated and excluded. These students are most vulnerable and likely to be subjected to bullying and mistreatment. By creating connections with those who need it, students show their support and model positive behaviors to their peers and demonstrate in our school we look out for each other. Moreover, bystander can reach out to a trusted adult and report potentially dangerous situations such as threats against the campus or fellow students at risk for self-harm or danger at home. Helping a student who is at risk and might otherwise not seek help can go a long way to ensuring that the students get the support they need before the situation worsens. By speaking up and taking actions, students model positive peer pressure and their actions says that bullying in all forms is not okay in the campus. Bullying is a national epidemic and requires a multitude of approaches and collaboration to galvanize real change. So, again, be an upstander, not a bystander.
Bullying is wrong. It's never okay, and it's never cool. It never make you look good by doing it. You always have a choice. Be the person that's smart enough and confident enough to be friends with everyone you meet. By doing so, you are sending the message that you are self-assured enough not to care what others may think. I hope you learned something from these sessions and I hope you take it seriously. This is an issue that's been costing life. As students, you can change that. Thanks to all three panelists for sharing their informative and precious knowledge. It was a very interesting and helpful forum sessions. Thank you very much.